Hello friends, we have been learning very interesting the unit from your syllabus FYBSc paper second, that is fruit processing industry. From that one we have learned many more, actually the methodology which are useful for the processing of a fruit, or how to process the fruits, and what's the actually methodology name. In that one, we know that jam, jelly, squash, preparation, these are the methodologies, whatever we have learned of that one. Again, today, in this lecture, we have to study about another two types. That is a first type from that one is a canning. Canning is nothing but, what is canning actually? That you have to keep in mind. Canning is nothing but the processed fruit which is sealed in a airtight container. That is known as a canning. Cans, that is known to you, name of that container, we have to say that the can. And whenever we have to say canning methodology is used there, we know that actually main objective of this our canning methodology of a food processing is that to produce of the fruits, processed fruits, we have to keep in a stable form. As we know that the fruits are very much perishable, that easily get damaged, and we want to store that for a long life, or we have to say that for long time. Means here one idea is our mind is that nothing but to enhance the shelf life of that produce, or method of that fruit processing. That is the main objective, main aim is there, and we can use that produce or fruit, processed fruit material in off season also, isn't it? So here in stable form, make more convenient to prepare. The goal of canning process is to destroy any microorganism. My friends, we know that we are going to say that the fruits are very much perishable. That means that get easily damaged because of their characteristic is that shows presence of a sugar and water. That things are there, but only sugar and water. That sugar and water is responsible for providing a favorable condition for the growth of a microbes which are damaging the fruits, isn't it? So in canning process, main the things have been done when we seal that produce, processed fruit material in airtight container. Definitely that never allows the growth of a microbes. And another thing is that in the canning process we have to destroy the microbes, and here we are going to prevent the again contamination. When airtight containers are there, there is no entry of a microbe can take place, and that remain the food material very, we have to say that, in proper condition. Here we have to keep in mind that can be again contaminations prevented by the heating. Heat is the most common agent used to destroy the microbes. Friends, here removal of oxygen can be used in a conjunction with the other methods to prevent the growth and oxygen requiring microorganisms. We know that most of the microorganisms which requires a oxygen for their growth, and that oxygen requiring microbes are also most damaging agents are there, microbes are there, aerobic that aerobic microbes also we can prevent from their entry or prevent from their growth on the processed food material by removing oxygen from that one, oxygen from the processed food, or in the container we can do that things. These typical commercial canning operations may employ the general process such as which methodology is used, which techniques are used at the time of canning. That is nothing but washing, sorting, grading, preparation, container filling, exhausting, container sealing, heat sterilization, cooling, labeling, casing, and storage for the shipment. Isn't it? So many more we have to say that steps are to be followed before the canning and after the canning also, isn't it? And till the distributing to the customer. One of the major difference in the sequence of operations between the fruit and vegetable canning is blanching operation, isn't it? Blanching operation. Most of the fruits are not blanched prior to can filling, whereas many of the vegetables undergoes these steps. Canned vegetables will generally require a more severe processing than do the fruits because the vegetables are much lower acidity and contain more heat resistant soil organisms. My friends, we know that here the two things we can process with the help of a canning methodology, that is vegetables and fruits. We know that severe canning processes are required for the preservation of a vegetables as compared to the fruits. So there is a little bit difference that you have to keep in mind, because we know that actually in the vegetables there is a less acid present, isn't it? Again, less microbes preventing factors are present into that one, but in the fruits most of time we know that. So there is a difference that you have to keep in mind, that you have to understand that concept. So suppose somebody wants to can the vegetables, that fellow will have to take a proper care of a processing it and canning. Also it required a severe canning process as compared to that of the fruits, isn't it? Now the many vegetables also require more cooking than the fruits. That is also well known to us, to develop their most desirable flavor and texture. So at every step we have to take care at the time of canning of vegetables. Separate methodology is used. Steps I will say that used at the time of canning methodology. The method used in cooking steps vary widely among the facilities. With many fruits preliminary treatment steps, peeling, boring, halving and pittings are there, occur prior to the any heating or cooking step. But with vegetables, these treatment steps often after the vegetables has been blanched. So we have to first of all blanch the vegetables. For both fruits and vegetables, peeling is done either by mechanical peelers, steam peeling methodologies are there, isn't it? Is the process of removing the peels of the fruits and vegetables by immersion in a lye solution. So, my friends, we know that mechanical method, manual methods, chemical methods, some instrumental methods are used just a peeling process. That is depends upon the type of fruit which we want to process, which we want to canning, isn't it? The choice depends upon the type of fruit or vegetable that already I have told to you, and choice of the company. So, my friends, you will have to keep in mind, always we have to look at the each and every steps used in a fruit processing. So this is one of the most method we have been learning, that is the canning. As we have already learned, preparation of a jam, preparation of a squash, isn't it? At the time of ketchup, at the time of we have to say that pickling, pickle formations. So these are also methods like that canning is there. Now dried fruits, chips are great option long-term storage of the fruits. My friends, keep in mind, this is another methodology of a processing, that is a chips production. Dried chips are great option long-term storage of the fruit. We know that once the chips are prepared, processed, and that we have kept or packed into packages, kept into the containers. At that time, life of that slices, life of that chips is we have to say that enhances. The drying process can ensure that the fruit chips retain as much as their nutritional content. Simple step, that is of a drying of the chips, never create any problem to the nutritional value of that chips of the fruits. Natural sweetness also remain of that one as it is. Beautiful bright colors as possible. My friends, one example I will tell to you. We know that the very well potato chips are there. Chips of banana are there. Now the color of that chips of banana and potato chips, sweetness, taste, nutrition value, each and every remain as it is, that we have tested, that we have experienced that many times. Isn't it? When the peoples observe the past, at that time they are using this type of things. So we are very well known. Drying is the most important. We have to say that the process that is used in a food processing, that is the formation of a chips. Fruit chips comes in a variety of mixed flavors: apple, pineapple, strawberry, orange, and melon, and pear, and kiwi, and all sort of type of the fruits we can use for the. Again, we have to say that the chiku are there, isn't it? So fruits are sliced and can dried by the different methods. First, what we have to do, take the healthy, well ripened fruits that wash thoroughly. Then again, if it is possible, my friends, always you have to keep in mind, as a science students, we'll have to look after each and every step at the time of preparation of a chips, is that sterilize it if it is possible by sun drying, sun heating, or other steam heating, or that methods you have to use. Fruits are sliced and can dried by different methods, such as air drying, freeze drying. A potato chips, in bracket known as a crisp in the British, is a thin slice of a potato that is a deep fried or baked until the crunchy. Potato chips are commonly known as appetizer, side dishes, or snacks. When we have that one before our meal, before our dinner, before our lunch, as we have to say that the appetizer. The basic chips are cooked and salted. Additional varieties are manufactured using various flavors. Various flavors are there. Ingredients including the seasoning and herbs, spices, cheese, and artificial additives can be used into that one. Now, ingredients generally known to in case of the preparation of a potato chip that is prepared at every places, each and every Indian, me Maharashtrian, I will say that, can prepare these things at their places. Our mother, our I have to say the grandmother, all our neighbors, most of the peoples are preparing that one. Bachat ghats are there, Mahila bachat ghats are there, isn't it? So these, we have to say that, knows very well the preparation. So ingredients: potato, salt, water to boil them in, red chili powder, oil to deep fry, lot of sunshine, and high temperature for the preparation. That is available in our Maharashtra. In India, biodiversity is there in case of the environment. So high temperature is there. For sun drying, there is no money we have to pay for that. So this potato chips preparation method is there. Now scrub and wash the potatoes. First of all, we have to scrub, wash the potatoes, and then peel them. Slice the potato with potato slicers. Do not like them too thin, such that they appear transparent. So the slices we have to prepare not that much, very much thick, but at least transparent slices we have to prepare, that are very, we have to say that, then becomes a crunchy. So each and every step, as already I have said to you, we have to look after that step, we have to follow that one. They should still be able to hold the shapes, but as much as thin, they never changes their shape. Otherwise, slices shapes can get changed if they becomes a more and more thin. Wash the potato slices in several changes of water till the water runs clear of the starch. Once we have prepared after cooking the slices we have made, peeling, cooking the slices, we have to wash under the water for many more times, isn't it? Unless and until the water runs clear of a starch. Starch should not be comes into the water. Now heat a large pot with the enough water. All the potatoes need to be the completely immersed in the water. When the water comes to the rolling boil, add some salts and then drop in a sliced potato. The water temperature should be lowered, and then the water will stop boiling. Keep the heat on the high, and when the water comes to the boil, again switch off the heat. Cover the pot with a lid and leave it for about 5 minutes. The potatoes should not be cooked, but they will be look glazed and translucent. Keep in mind, my friends, at the time of preparation of potato, small, we can take a 250 gram of a potato first of all, and you have to do this at your places. How to make them very crunchy, how to make them very tasty, how to make them, we have to say that, as it has original nutrition having, sweetness having. So first of all, pilot project we have to make. Use this methodology for the preparation of a sliced potato. Drain out the water carefully. Remove the sliced potato in a colander and let them drain for 5 minutes. Line a large board on a tray with a foil parchment or a plastic wrap. Now we know that we have to spread the plastic paper on that plastic paper in line. We have to dry that in a sun. Lay out each slice of potato separately without overlap. Overlapping is to be avoided. Each other, dry them in a full sunshine for at least 8 to 10 hours till they are dried and not sticky. That should not be sticky, otherwise, or dry, remove the most of the moisture, water from that one. Keep them in a moisture free places. Dry them again in a sun, and next day if needed you have to dry for that one. Once you are dried for 8 to 10 hours in a sun, then there is a no in sunlight, then there is a no need to again dry in the next day in the sun, because 8 to 10 hours are in month of May. We have to say that when you are going to month of May, month of March, April, very strong heat is there in that session, in that season. We have to say that in that 3 months there is no need to again next day we have to keep the potato slices in the sunlight for drying. After they are dried, they should be a thin, almost brittle, and most of them curl around the edge. They should also be, this is the actually characteristic of the totally dried slices, that their around portion, around edges get curl. They should also be peel out easily from the base. Store them in a moisture-free, air-tight container. They can be stored for many months. My friends, why we have to store in such a container, air-tight container? Because we know that in the air there is a moisture. Suppose air comes in contact with them, that can absorb. Means potato slices never absorb, but we have added salt at the time of its preparation. That salts can absorb the moisture. So each and every scientific method, scientific point you have to consider. Why not to do that things? Always my friends used to say that as a science student should be inquisitive. That fellow will have to ask questions to each and every line, each and every word, each and every step. Why to do this one? Suppose we are not doing this one, what may can happen? Like that when always questions are raised by the science students, and that is the actual characteristic of a science students. You have to do that one at the time of going through your syllabus, reading steps of preparation or any topic. You will have to ask the questions: why, what, when. Suppose not done, what may can happen? So then only it is possible to make it clear the concepts. We have to put into airtight container. Why to put into airtight container? Why not there should be a contact of air and that slices? That you will have to always understand, my friends. Then what happens actually? They can be stored for many months. To fry them, heat enough oil to deep fry. Once the oil is smoking hot, place a handful of sun-dried chips in the oil and fry till. Means that dry slices of potato, whatever we have prepared at the time before eating or before packing as a food products, eating food products, at that time we'll have to fry that one. Once the oil is smoking hot, place a handful of sun-dried chips into the oil and fry till they are deep golden in color. That we will be able to understand that is totally fried or not. Whenever golden color will be appear to that potato slices, then you will come to know that the potato slices has been totally fried, isn't it? So this make sure that they do not turn brown, isn't it? Golden colored up to it, what, but it should not get change into color the brown. Otherwise, that we have to say that burn. Remove with the slotted spoon and drain on the paper towel. Sprinkle salt and chili powder. Serve as a snacks or packs it and send to the market for the sale. My friends, very simple methodology is there. That is today we have learned, my friends, methods of a fruit processing. That is the first one we have studied today. That is a canning, isn't it? Another we have studied, that is preparation of a chips. In the last lecture we have studied jam, preparation of a squash. So that are the methodology whatever used for the preparation of a processing of a fruits. Then again ketchup is there. Again we have to say that the jelly is there preparation. So these are the fruit methods of the fruit processing we have learned, my friends. Learn all these things. Then you will come to know that the importance of these things. With this, I will say to you, my friends, many things are there in happening and studied, but that you have to convert into a entrepreneurship in business. Try to be there. So this I why I have always inculcating, why I have insisting to you to be a businessman, because nowadays why to be the businessman, that we will see in the next lecture. Next lecture is there, because I have kept that pending lecture. Why you have to be the, and is it their opportunity? Isn't it? Is it? There is a opportunity. What is blanched potato? That also you will come to know that in the next lecture. Till then, thank you. Goodbye.